Hello everybody, it's me, Mr.SpinosaurusAS, coming at you with another Primal Carnage update video. This update has been out for a while, and I've been meaning to cover it, but due to events in my personal life, I have been unable to, so I'm doing it now to catch you guys up to speed, even though I'm sure you guys are already up to speed anyways. So, this update is something very special, as it is the 6th anniversary celebration update for Primal Carnage Extinction. And can I just say that it has been a wild 6 years. I've been playing Primal Carnage for 6 years. It is unbelievable. So, without further ado, let's see what they have in store for this update. Besides all these interesting cosmetics that I'm sure we'll be looking at later. Possibly. Hopefully. Okay, so with this update, Capture the Egg is getting revamped. To my knowledge, anyways. So, this being our belated Easter update, well, we thought it was high time to completely revamp how Capture the Egg mode works. Now, this is interesting because I've never played Capture the Egg, so I don't really know what it used to be. To my knowledge, it was basically you had a team of humans and dinosaurs like you usually do. However, the objective for the human team was to capture eggs from these nests around the map and take them over to the other side of the map. And the objective of the dinosaurs was to keep the eggs safe. Kind of like Capture the Flag, but having there only be one flag. This is a radical renovation, removing a lot of elements whilst adding new gameplay features in the process. We felt that although there was some merit to the old version, it was just ultimately too repetitive, and the small scale of the play area was stifling the fun out of things. So, we rethought things altogether. CTE, so Capture the Egg, mode has been renovated. That's not renovated, whatever. As a fast-paced experience with short, dangerous rounds. Now that's interesting to me, because I'm a player who much prefers longer rounds as opposed to shorter rounds. But I suppose if this is anything to go off of, there's going to be a maximum of 5 rounds, and each team has to win a total of 3 rounds to basically be victorious. So that's interesting. It looks like, skipping past a few lines because I'm not going to be reading all of this, that'd be ridiculous. You guys can read it if you own the game. It looks like the Tyrants are back. I don't know if the Tyrants weren't present during Capture the Egg, but that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Obviously, you got, from what it seems to be here, you might have a total of 5 minutes, judging by the clock, maybe 10. And it looks like that each team has a number of lives. So, rushing in there headfirst probably isn't the best idea. Dino defenders, a bunch of changes have been made. Dino players are now tasked with eliminating all humans to prevent them from capturing any eggs. If the dinosaur team manages to take out the entire human team, they win the game. To do this means draining all the lives that the humans have remaining. So this little counter up here. Dinosaurs can also return dropped eggs to the nest they were stolen from in order to slow down the humans and get some extra points. These lizards don't want to smash their unborn babies to pieces though, so move more carefully when holding the egg. You cannot jump or run with it in your claws. That makes sense. We're not going to talk about game type customability because bleh. Future beta updates. This is what I'm interested in. We're excited to see the reactions to the newly revamped CTE and look forward to finding out which variants work the best. The mode has been relaunched as a beta and currently only supports 3 maps at present: Forest Chasm, Forgotten Outpost, and Utility Base. 3 of my favorite maps in the game. The next patch adds additional map support for new CTE, along with fixes and tweaks based on what we see people saying. Well, that's good. As a little extra initiative, there is double XP for playing Capture the Egg right now. Good, good. That's I always love it when they do this because, obviously people aren't just gonna play Capture the Egg. I sure as the hell am not gonna play Capture the Egg. It's just not the right game mode for me. But, uh, this gives people some more incentive. Forgotten Outpost for Redux. I'm not gonna talk about that. Balance changes. These are my favorite parts of these patch updates. So if you guys remember, not yesterday, but a while back, my last video was about the problems in balancing that Primal Carnage faced. So I'm very interested to see if those problems are fixed or if they are worsened. This update introduces a long list of balance adjustments, good, to the game based on both general community feedback and statistics taken from the more popular deathmatch servers. Tyrant tweaks, oh boy. Oh boy, what do we got? After the reduction of Tyrant health a while ago, they have become less of the unstoppable monsters they once were, but are still lethal in the right hands. You can say that about any class in any game. To give newer players a better chance of survival when playing them, we have changed how their health restoration works when eating people. Tyrants now get 2 doses of health, a smaller one when they bite someone and a bigger amount when they have finished swallowing. Alright, we're already off to a great start, because this immediately makes Tyrants a little bit more tanky. Not necessarily to be in the spot where they were, but it certainly gives them more sustain, and that's what they needed. This helps offset the vulnerability that comes from the time they need to chew their food. Yes, exactly. Alright, I'm glad they picked up on that. We have also changed how weak points work for Tyrants. Instead of the whole head being a crit zone, you can now only land a critical hit by shooting around the eye area. Alright, guys, for those of you that did not watch my previous video about the balancing of the game, I mentioned this. It was like the biggest point that I made in that video, is that the entire head of the Tyrants, the massive head for the Tyrants, should not be the entire weak point. I said that it should be something a little more minuscule, a little harder to hit, and it looks like it is. The eye area, which hopefully is not to the point to where it's impossible to hit, but is also not to the point where you can just kind of shoot randomly on the head and just nick it. So that is amazing. Now I'm not saying that they watched my video or listened to the video. Obviously, I'm not bloated enough to say that I'm that much of a figurehead in this game, but it's nice to see that they recognize the problems that I recognized and they're working to fix it. The rest of the head doesn't count, and Tyrants can reduce the chances of being hit in their weak spot by holding the jump key to keep their head held high. Again, another feature that I like, because the jump key for Tyrants just moves their head up, which didn't really have a whole lot of meaning, except for getting people in high places, and even then it was a little wonky. So to see that it has a little bit more purpose is awesome. Further adjustments have also been made to the Tyrant bite attacks. The range of them has been fine-tuned, and they are now able to grab enemies earlier in the animation. Cool. Putting Pyro in his place. Alright. Some Pyro changes, I assume. For the longest time, Pyro was just getting absolutely clobbered, with possibly the worst kill-to-death ratio of any class. well, um, let's go on. He was recently given a leg up, uh, several legs even, in the form of flamethrower focused fire damage, fire ignoring armor, and just generally doing more damage, plus having extra health compared to other humans. However, this all might have made him just a tad too strong. I agree to a certain extent. Um, we still envision Pyro as a bit of a tank for the human team. Again, as I said previously in my videos, kind of a weird place to put him. So he's keeping his extra health. Okay, cool. However, to balance things out a bit, flamethrower damage has been toned down, and its ammo reduced by a 1/4. Okay. Well, Pyro receives more fall damage than other humans, and of course can become a dangerous missile to his own team when when bodily launched by enemies. Okay. Not sure how much I like them giving him less ammo, considering the amount of ammo required with his flamethrower, anyways, to turn a acid pool into a fire pool. If they reduce the ammo taken from that, whilst also giving him less ammo, then that would make more sense. But it chews up a lot of ammo if you don't have the flare gun equipped, and if you want to catch an acid pool on fire with just your flamethrower. But that's a small part of the class, so I can understand why they didn't take that into account. Fall damage reduction. The threshold for receiving fall damage has been adjusted for several classes to be more forgiving. Okay. It is still relatively easy to hurt yourself compared to ages past, but you won't be near death if you jump off the utility-based ramparts as a human anymore. Classes which rely on speed and jumping a lot, such as our raptors and bruisers, are also a bit tougher than falling off drops now. Okay, so this is actually something that I wanted to touch on in my previous video, but I didn't. I think that fall damage from jumping off places and fall damage via terras should be completely different things. Because as a terra, you kind of, as a new player anyways, you don't know how high you should be to kill a human at full health. So you often get terras that hang on to humans until they run out of stamina, whilst they constantly go all the way up to the skybox. And that just takes time and energy, and it puts the terra in a really bad spot. So, to increase Terra's ability to drop humans, to give that its own kind of thing, would be awesome. But it's nice to know that, you won't kill yourself jumping off certain ledges as humans anymore. Falling with style. Okay. This is a Terra thing, I assume. Flyers now enter free fall if they collide with something hard enough during a flight. Okay. Cool. We've swapped in a different animation for this to sell the wind buffeting your wings as you drop like a stone. Oh, Lord. Okay. If you're falling from high enough, you can still potentially recover and begin flapping again by holding the jump button. This change gets around some awkward animation glitches between walking and flying modes when brushing against 90-degree angles, and acts as a minor punishment for careless swooping. Awesome. Alright, I love that. The maximum speed of flight has been reduced slightly compared to the last update, but you will still receive a significant boost from dive bombing straight downwards as a flyer. One last change with flyers is that the Tupa's health has been lowered from 350 to 300 flat to offset its entire head crest being armored. Not the Tupa change I wanted. I still think Tupas are pretty strong. Stronger than they definitely need to be. It doesn't seem like they changed the fact that Tupas can still ram you if they're not sprinting, but at least it's something. I'll take it. Raptor Rejig. Alright, what do we got here? Oviraptors players have been outclassing their Nova peers for some time now. Oh my god. The advantages it had in agility and pouncing meant that it was seen as the more viable choice way too often. So we've taken steps to bring the two raptors closer together in terms of combat effectiveness. Okay. I can't remember if I went over how strong Oviraptor is in my last video, but Oviraptor definitely outclassed Novaraptor before this update. Oviraptor's Roar has a longer recharge time now, and has a smaller detection radius. Okay, very good. That's good to know, because Oviraptor is not necessarily supposed to be reconnaissance. It's not supposed to be the same as the flyers. So that's interesting. That's very good. It was proving too overpowered in CTE mode. As a penalty for being so fast, Oviraptor now has heavier stamina drain than Novaraptor. Okay, very good. That makes sense. And its stamina regenerates slower than it did previously. That might be a little bit too hard, in my opinion. Novaraptor now consumes less stamina in general, and its pounce is both less costly to execute and more deadly to the victim. Okay, that's good. Oviraptor's pounce can still kill a human faster than Nova's, but not to such a massive extent as before. Alright, again, good to know that they're closer in par with one another. I still think that pounce needs to be fixed, because there are times where you just try to pounce someone and you just completely slide off of them. So hopefully they fix that soon. It's been a problem and it's been around for a while. Both of the raptors now have shorter primary attack ranges, with a reduced window of time in which their bite and slash attacks can deal damage as well. Okay. This requires raptor players to use more finesse and actually aim when engaging enemies. It was a little too easy to just hold down attack and run forward to rack up kills previously. Yes, awesome. I love the fact that they're fine-tuning these things. They're making it a little bit harder to achieve kills and all that kind of stuff. That's perfect. You shouldn't hold punches when it comes to players. Alright, gun feel. Oh boy, what's this? There's a bunch of little things that can add up to some of the weapons feeling not so great at the moment. Ooh. We'll be working on a larger scale improvements to things like weapon animations and sounds for some of the older guns at a later date. Well, that's good. But have been addressing some of the little quibbles recently to make them feel smoother to use. Okay. Not gonna read all of this. Let's see. The Spaz 12 reload shells much quicker. Okay, that's cool. Similar adjustments are made to Assault Rifle and M4, with the former having slower rate of fire, but being more damaging. Yep, that's the trade-off. Trap tune-up. Zap traps have received some tweaks to make them more effective. We saw some players complaining that they weren't a very useful tool, so made some changes for this update. Firstly, their arming time is much shorter, as is their refire delay. Okay? This means that zap frequency is much more often, and there's less of a chance that a dinosaur can escape before it goes off again. Okay, well that's good. Looks like the range has been increased. I thought the range was fine. And they do a smidge extra initial damage when triggered. Okay, well that's fine, I guess. Even though that kind of... I don't think that it should necessarily be used as damaging, but alright. Got new items, which we have here. we have that, which a lot of people have been wanting. That new ultimate skins, kilowatts. I've seen some of those around. They're pretty cool. Community scavenger hunt. Yeah, we're back at this again, which is awesome. The last one was a massive hit. And full catalog. Alright, so that's basically it. So I'm not gonna know the full extent of what they changed. But from what I hear, or what I've seen through this, it's looking pretty good. It's not as much of a mixed bag as last time. However, I do want to check assault rifle. Uh, is that the one? Rifle recoil spread. No, that's not the one. Have they changed? It doesn't look like they did anything to the to Sniper's new weapon, which I think they should. But Tyrants, yeah, we already went over all of this. Wow. All right, so I think this was definitely a better update than the last update, in my opinion. Just for the balance changes that they did, because man, oh man, Tyrants really needed a helping hand, and CTE really needed a helping hand. So I'm glad that they did what they did. Um, I still feel like there's some more work that needs to be done. I'm not entirely sure if Tyrants are necessarily fixed anymore or yet. So I guess when I get into the game, I can give a synopsis on that. But from what I've read here, it sounds great. But you know, anything can sound great but be horrible in gameplay, because we as players have a tendency to break things. So anyway, guys, this was the 6th-year anniversary celebration update for Primal Carnage Extinction. I can't wait for next year. I can't wait for another 6 years. Hopefully the game continues to go on strong, and hopefully these balance changes helped wildly. So anyway, guys, in the comment section below, write down your opinions on the changes made, if you guys have played since. I have not, as previously stated. But anyway, guys, I'm Mr.SpinosaurusAS. I'll see you all next time.